I put laxative in the fruit punch at my dad's 4th of July party, and the whole family got destroyed. My dad's fireworks shows were always a big deal. A full day of eating good food, drinking, having fun, and most importantly, catching up with your family members that you only get to see once a year. My dad would always organize these events, and he was very particular about one thing: making sure that there was plenty of food and drink for everyone. The main event was always the family potluck, where everyone would bring over a dish to share. And my personal favorite was always the fruit punch that my dad would make. It was always sweet, perfectly cold and refreshing. The laxative explosion happened towards the end of the evening. Everyone was pretty drunk by this point, and we were all just relaxing and enjoying the night. All of us kids were running around playing games, and my 2 younger brothers and my son were no exception. They were running around the house with some empty bowls in their hands when suddenly my youngest brother looked up and said, "I'm so bored. I wish something crazy would happen." I told them I had a great idea in mind, so I went into the kitchen with my brothers. And a few minutes later we came out with 2 big spoons and started putting something into the fruit punch bowl. Now being 11 at the time, my son didn't know what me and JJ, James and Mastin was really doing. So my son followed us back into the kitchen and asked us what we were putting in the fruit punch. We responded, "Oh, nothing, just making it better," and he could tell that we were definitely hiding something. At this point, he was really curious, so he decided to keep following us and see what we were up to. Me and JJ, James and Mastin went straight to the medicine cabinet and started rummaging through all of the bottles. That is when I seen it and started measuring it into the spoon. It was a brown liquid and it had the word laxative on it. I then proceeded to put both of those spoons full into the fruit punch. I couldn't believe what he was seeing. Not only was I putting laxative in the fruit punch, but I was putting a lot of it. He immediately told me that I wasn't allowed to do that and tried to take the bottle away from me. But I was way too fast for him, and I threw a different bottle under the sink before he could react, while still palming the laxative. I then grabbed both of the bowls and started measuring out more laxative into them. "I can't believe that you're actually doing this," he told us. He then stated that it's actually going to be pretty funny once I told him what it will do. Together, we all decided to pour the rest of the bottle into the bowls. At this point, no one knew and we couldn't be stopped. We cleaned up all the evidence. We hid in the bathroom for a while to finish coming up with our plan. Once we came up with the plan, we placed the fruit punch bowl on the kitchen counter. We paused and stared at each other. Then we all started laughing hysterically and said, "I can't believe that we actually did it." Uncle Mikey came into the kitchen moments later, poured a glass with his bald shiny head sparkling in a glare coming from the window. He then took a big giant gulp of the fruit punch and drank it. "You're gonna regret that," Mastin told him, but he just laughed and walked away. A few minutes later, my dad came into the kitchen and took a big gulp of the fruit punch. Everyone started drinking the fruit punch after Uncle Mikey did, and within an hour everyone was running to the bathroom. It was like a scene from a horror movie. People were screaming, "I don't feel well," and running to the toilet. It was the funniest thing we have ever seen, and even though it was gross, we couldn't help but laugh. I felt bad for my dad because he was trying to enjoy his one night of relaxation and instead he spent it running to the bathroom. But the look on his face was priceless. It was a mixture of shock, confusion, and disgust. As the night went on, more and more people started getting sick, and me and my brothers just sat there with a big smile on our faces. My dad must have felt like he was in some kind of movie. It was truly the laxative explosion of the century. As every left, Uncle Mikey still wasn't feeling great feelings, so he decided to spend the night with his dogs. In the middle of the night, Uncle Mikey was having a wild dream. He was swimming and having fun splashing in the pool. Uncle Mikey finally woke up and realized he had used the bathroom on himself. He stood up and in his white boxers, now brown boxers, his dogs started to clean him up. He totally wrecked my dad's guest bedroom, barely escaping his 4 dogs from licking him to death. My dad and Uncle Mikey still haven't figured out who put the laxative in the fruit punch.